Dark Myth Wukong, Chapter 32, 6 Spirits, 8 Forms. 6 Spirits, 8 Forms, as the name suggests, consists of a total of 8 forms. The name Bashen Yan also originated from his cultivation of this technique. The first 4 forms of the 6 spirits, 8 forms, are the Ice Extreme forms, with power roughly equivalent to the Emperor level and above. The subsequent 4 forms are the Fire Extreme forms, with power elevated to the Saint Realm level. Previously, Bashen Yan had intended only to test the waters, using the first and third forms of the 6 spirits' 8 forms. But unexpectedly, they had absolutely no effect on Sun Wukong. This was undoubtedly the greatest blow to Bashen Yan. To think that he, the dignified leader of the Water Tribe, a middle-stage Saint Realm cultivator, unmatched throughout the entire Arctic ice field, who had built a formidable reputation relying on the 6 spirits' 8 forms, had today unleashed 3 forms, without even touching a single hair on his opponent. This sent waves of fury through Bashen Yan's heart. Thus, after the 3rd form, he directly unleashed the 4th form, Extreme, Fire Crimson Flame, Kill. Although Bashen Yan was a member of the Water Tribe, and possessed a naturally born Ice King physique, logically, he should only be able to cultivate water or ice-based magic. However, Bashen Yan possessed extraordinary innate talent. He stubbornly cultivated the ice element to its limit, and eventually, unexpectedly, comprehended the fire element. In Bashen Yan's own words, it was ice reaching its extreme gives birth to fire. Consequently, his ice-based magic became secondary, while the fire element became his primary focus. Possessing both extreme cold and extreme heat, this was the once-in-10,000 years super genius of the Water Tribe, the Azure Flame. As the 5th form of the 6 spirits, 8 forms was unleashed, Sun Wukong's heart suddenly trembled. This attack from his opponent actually instilled a sense of immense threat within him. Immediately, Sun Wukong dared not be careless in the slightest. His opponent seemed to have truly unleashed his fury. If he showed even a sliver of carelessness, he could very well be severely injured. This was something Sun Wukong did not want. The 5th form of the 6 spirits' 8 forms, Extreme Fire Crimson Flame Kill, had been unleashed. But Sun Wukong was suddenly stunned, because he had clearly seen Bashen Yan's hands condense an extremely terrifying fire energy. Yet it vanished without a trace after being released. Could the spell have failed? Impossible. How could an expert of this level make such a basic mistake? Could there be a trick involved? Just then, Sun Wukong suddenly felt a sharp sting behind him. Without time to think, the wind-fire wheels beneath his feet flared to maximum power, and in a thousandth of a moment, he dodged to the left. Sun Wukong barely managed to evade, only to see a blinding line of fire streak past the spot where he had just been. The space it passed through even showed faint scorch marks. This flame was actually so terrifying. However, just as Sun Wukong dodged the first attack, before he could adjust his posture, his peripheral vision suddenly caught a flash of firelight to his right. Due to the previous evasion, Sun Wukong's current posture was extremely awkward. Even if the wind-fire wheels erupted again, he couldn't possibly dodge this firelight. Left with no choice, Sun Wukong forcibly twisted his body and swept the Golden Cudgel horizontally in front of his chest. Screech! The firelight was struck by Sun Wukong's Golden Cudgel, veering off course and plunging straight into a nearby ice mountain. Merely moments after the firelight entered, the entire ice mountain suddenly emitted tremendous sounds of evaporating steam. Upon looking again, the ice mountain had completely vanished, leaving not a single trace. Sun Wukong looked down at his Golden Cudgel and discovered a small black dot on its surface, clearly a mark left after striking that firelight. One must know that this Golden Cudgel was forged by Tishan Laon in the Bagua furnace for 49 days straight. Its fire resistance was conceivable. Yet, today, it had been scorched by a mere firelight. leaving a small black mark. Just how powerful was this flame? It was likely that even the Void Transformation Fire or the Red Lotus Karmic Fire paled in comparison. Extreme Fire Crimson Flame Kill. Triple Fire Annihilation. Bashen Yan saw that, although a single firelight could put Sun Wukong in a difficult position, it seemed that was all it could do. A ruthless glint flashed in his eyes, and he unleashed the ultimate version of the fifth form. Triple Fire Annihilation. Sun Wukong suddenly felt danger loom. He used the Golden Cudgel with all his might to block behind him, and his entire body was instantly knocked several meters forward. But before he could regain his footing, another firelight shot up from the ground, aiming straight for his head. He instantly performed an iron plate bridge maneuver, narrowly avoiding it. At this moment, two more firelights, one above, one below, one front, one back, attacked simultaneously. Sun Wukong was now completely trapped.
Insolent! Since I can't escape, then old Sun won't escape. Power of the Earth's sovereign. Hands.
How proud was Sun Wukong to be repeatedly forced into such a pathetic state. How could he endure it? With two firelights closing in, Sun Wukong had no way to dodge. If escape was impossible, then he wouldn't escape. Sun Wukong lowered his center of gravity, stood tall, then executed a half-turn, thrusting both hands forward. It seemed he intended to receive the two firelights with his bare hands. From afar, Bashen Yan couldn't help but be stunned seeing Sun Wukong's recklessness, but it was immediately followed by an even greater surge of anger. How dare you look down on me like this? Fine. Then let me show you just how terrifying my Bashen Yan's extreme fire truly is. At the very moment the two firelights were about to hit Sun Wukong's hands, Bashen Yan's eyes widened from a distance. The two firelights flared even brighter, clearly pushed to their absolute limit by him. In the next instant, the two firelights violently collided with Sun Wukong's palms. Ah! An extremely painful scream erupted from his mouth. Sun Wukong instantly retracted his hands, his entire body kneeling down, seemingly using all his strength to suppress the two firelights. Zane this. A cold smile touched the corner of Bashen Yan's lips. So what if you can catch the two firelights? Don't forget, there isn't just two. Indeed, just as Sun Wukong knelt, the third firelight shot towards the back of his head. However, when it was less than 30 feet away, the Golden Cudgel suddenly appeared. Because the cudgel's appearance was too abrupt, the firelight couldn't change direction in time and slammed into its side. Immediately after, a small, almost transparent flower at the other end of the Golden Cudgel began to spin rapidly. As it spun, an even more terrifying fire energy surged forth from the small flower. Then, the Golden Cudgel shot off into the distance at an inconceivable speed. Just like that, using the Void Transformation flower as propulsion, the Golden Cudgel carried the third firelight, flying straight backward until it vanished. Due to its extreme speed, combined with the power of the firelight on its tip, it tore through the void, flying straight out of the Pangu realm. Upon appearing outside the Pangu realm, the firelight on the Golden Cudgel's tip suddenly extinguished, leaving a faint dent on the staff. When the firelight died out, the Void Transformation flower seemed to sense it. The surging fire energy instantly ceased, and the Golden Cudgel began to fall. But then, the Void Transformation flower flashed again, and the Golden Cudgel once more pierced through the spatial barrier, returning to the Pangu realm and back to the battlefield. But it wasn't over. After returning, the Golden Cudgel didn't stop but charged straight towards Bashen Yan, carrying the Void Transformation flower. If this hit truly connected, Bashen Yan would undoubtedly be burned through by the Void Transformation flower, creating a large hole. An object capable of casually incinerating even space itself. How could it be touched carelessly? Perhaps because the third firelight was extinguished, Bashen Yan had already suffered internal injuries from the spell's backlash. Now facing the incoming void transformation flower, Bashen Yan seemed close to death. But in the next instant,
6 spirits, 8 forms. 7th form, Fire City-Shattering Sword.
After all, he was a dignified middle-stage saint. How could he perish so easily? At the critical moment, Bashen Yan pushed his spiritual power to the limit, suddenly activating the 7th form of the 6 spirits' 8 forms. A massive greatsword, half red and half blue, materialized from the void. With a wave of Bashen Yan's hand, it whistled through the air like a fierce wind towards the Golden Cudgel. Then, the two collided without hesitation. Upon impact, the expected earth-shattering explosion didn't occur. Instead, there was complete silence. It was as if the attacks of both were mere illusions. But looking at the scene in the sky, you wouldn't think so, because the massive Dharma sword was being devoured bit by the void transformation flower. Perhaps devoured wasn't entirely accurate. Mutually consumed would be more precise. As the Dharma sword was consumed, the void transformation flower trembled continuously. Watching the Dharma sword and Golden Cudgel locked in a stalemate in the sky, Bashen Yan was utterly shocked. This was already the 7th form, yet Sun Wukong seemed largely unharmed. Only the final form of the 6 spirits' 8 forms remained, but, typically, the more powerful the technique, the greater the risk in using it. With Bashen Yan's middle-stage saint strength, he could wield the first 6 forms of the 6 spirits' 8 forms as easily as moving his limbs. But the 7th form was extremely difficult, as it was a technique only early-stage high saints could truly utilize. Forcing its use, he could only unleash half of the original technique's power. Otherwise, a single void transformation flower could never have withstood it. But after using the 7th form, the spiritual power within Bashen Yan's body was already nearly depleted. And yet, the 7th form was only enough to hold his opponent in a deadlock. If he stopped now, he would definitely lose. But the 8th form... Actually, Bashen Yan still had one trump card unused, a secret technique that could triple his combat power in an instant. But the price for this secret technique was immense. It couldn't be used unless absolutely necessary. But now, at this moment, a figure flashed through Bashen Yan's mind. Instantly, he gritted his teeth and decided to risk it all.
What a spirit burst!
This was the unique forbidden art of the water spirit tribe, instantly tripling combat power.
6 spirits, 8 forms. Final form, Azure Flame.
Bashen Yan had gone all out. As for Sun Wukong, he had also stood up by now, but his trembling hands revealed his injuries. The flesh on his palms was mangled, even revealing glimpses of white bone.